your body and your mind are literally working against you right now. And I'm not talking about like aging or anything like that. I'm talking about something deeper. I'm talking about when you try to make a change, such as starting to exercise or finally beginning that meditation program that you know that would help you. But then your body and mind does everything in their power to stop you. I want you to know it's not your fault. It's biology. You know, when you've been living with chronic stress for years, your nervous system becomes wired for survival. It doesn't trust change. It doesn't trust calm. It trusts what feels familiar, even if that familiar thing is hurting your health. Let's take someone who is trying to stop smoking. They know that it's not good for them and they want to stop. But when something stressful happens, they automatically reach for that cigarette. Why? Because their brain has wired the cigarette to relief. The physical addiction is real, but so is that emotional addiction. The nervous system is reaching for that familiar comfort. The same thing happens with the stress emotions. Your brain has wired stressful emotions to relief. And I know that may sound odd. Think about it. When you try to do something new, or maybe something calming, something peaceful, your body and mind goes, wait. This doesn't feel safe. Let's go back to what's familiar. And so you do. And I've been there, okay? I've been there. So no judgment. Today, I want to show you what's happening exactly in your brain and your body and how Reiki can help you break free of this stop start pattern. I want you to know you're not broken, you're not failing. Your body and mind are just trying to protect you in the only ways it knows how. But today, we're going to teach your body and mind something new. Let me ask you something. Have you ever really wanted to make a change? Like maybe you wanted to start exercising or eating healthier, but every single time you try, you end up right back where you started from? You know, you might get motivated, you start out strong, and then you stop. And then a few weeks later, you jump on the bandwagon again, and then you stop again. It's exhausting and it can make you feel like something is wrong with you. Let me be perfectly clear. There is nothing wrong with you. This isn't a lack of willpower. This is a biological loop. Your nervous system is trying to keep you in what's familiar because what is familiar feels safe, it feels natural. So here's what's happening. You've decided you want to do something different for your health. You want to feel better. And so you start that new exercise program. But every time you step into something new, your brain and your body hits a wall. You feel some sort of resistance and you may think, oh, I'm just anxious, I'm exhausted. You start to hear that voice in your head and it says, this isn't going to work anyways. So you stop and you go back to what is familiar. This isn't a lack of willpower, it is an addiction. It is an addiction to the familiar, addiction to the stress response, addiction to the emotions and the patterns you have been living in for years. Let me give you a concrete example. Think about someone who is trying to quit smoking. So the person who wants to quit smoking, they know that the cigarettes are damaging their lungs and their body. They wake up in the morning and they have that smoker's cough. They want to quit, and so they try. They throw away the pack, and then they're good for maybe a few hours or a day, and then something stressful happens, a difficult phone call, an argument, a moment of loneliness, and then suddenly they're reaching for that cigarette. Why? Because their brain has wired the cigarette to relief. The physical addiction is real, but so is the emotional addiction, the ritual, the comfort of the familiar. Their nervous system associates the cigarette with safety and relief, even though it's hurting their health. And here's the kicker: when they try to quit, that addictive voice in their head starts whispering, "You can't do this. You've tried this before and you failed. This is just who you are. Why even bother?" Does that sound familiar? Now, think about someone who binge eats when they're stressed out. I know this one well. I used to do this one. They know it doesn't feel good afterwards. They know it's not serving their health, but in the moment, the food provides a temporary relief from an uncomfortable emotion. And the physical craving is real, but so is the emotional pattern. And the nervous system is seeking the familiar comfort of the binge. That is the thing. It's what feels familiar to you, what feels natural to you, what is that "this is how I always act" response in some sort of uncomfortable emotional situation. Here's the truth: you can become just as addicted to stress as you can to cigarettes, food, or alcohol. This isn't new. Dr. Joe Dispenza talks about this, how we can become addicted to emotions of the past, the stress, the worry, the fear, the exhaustion. Your brain literally craves the familiar chemicals it receives when you feel fear and stress and frustration, because it's what it knows. It is what feels safe to your body and mind, even when it is really hurting your health. And that's the loop. You want to change, but your body and mind is so addicted to the familiar stress that it keeps you stuck. Let's talk about what chronic stress actually does to you, because this is the key to understanding why change can feel so hard. So, when you are living with chronic stress, your body's entire physiological system becomes dysregulated. Your nervous system is stuck in fight or flight. It's like you're on the gas pedal 24/7, sympathetic nervous system overdrive. And it's not just in your head, it affects every single system in your body. Your muscles stay tense, especially your neck, your shoulders, your jaw, your back. And you might not even notice it anymore because it's your normal. Your heart can race, your blood pressure can rise. Your body is on this constant prepare for a threat that never actually comes. Your stomach might be in knots, digestion could be off. You might have IBS, acid reflux, or just like a constant heaviness in your lower gut. Your immune system weakens. You can get sick more often. Colds linger. Inflammation increases. You may feel exhausted, but you cannot sleep. Your mind is racing at 3 a.m., replaying the day, worrying about tomorrow. And long-term chronic stress contributes to high blood pressure, heart disease, a host of other illnesses, and even to cognitive decline. When you're chronically stressed, your prefrontal cortex goes offline. That's your good decision making part of your brain. And your amygdala, the fear center, just takes over. Your brain prioritizes survival and familiar patterns over growth and change. So when you try to start that new exercise routine or meditation practice, you're not fighting a lack of willpower. You're fighting a nervous system that has been stuck in survival mode for years. Your body doesn't know how to be calm. It doesn't know how to be still. It doesn't trust change. It only trusts what is familiar, even when that familiar is hurting you. Here's the good news, though: your brain can change. Neuroplasticity means your brain is constantly rewiring itself based on what you repeatedly think, feel, and experience. You can literally grow new neural pathways. You can rewire the patterns that have been keeping you stuck. There is a catch, though. It is very difficult to rewire your brain when your body and mind are in survival mode. Trying to change beliefs or habits when your nervous system is on high alert is kind of like planting a garden in concrete. The seeds are good, but the soil is too hard. This is where Reiki comes in. Reiki is a gentle, non invasive energy healing practice that helps your nervous system shift out of fight or flight into rest and reset. It doesn't magically change your beliefs, it does something more fundamental. It helps your body feel safe enough to let go of the familiar stress patterns and open up to something new. And the research backs this up. A 2024 meta analysis found that Reiki significantly reduces anxiety and stress. Even short term Reiki interventions, just 3 to 8 sessions, demonstrated effectiveness in reducing anxiety in people with chronic conditions and in just the general population. Another study found that Reiki was actually more effective than progressive relaxation exercises in reducing stress levels. After a single session, patients reported significantly lower anxiety and stress levels and significantly higher relaxation and feelings of calmness. Think of your mind like a garden. You can plant seeds all day long, new beliefs, new intentions, new thoughts, new goals. But if the soil is hard and dry, if the nervous system is in a chronic state of stress, growth is nearly impossible. Reiki helps soften the soil. It calms your nervous system so new beliefs and new habits and new ways of seeing yourself and the world can actually take root. When your body and mind feel safe, your prefrontal cortex comes back online. You can think clearly. You can make better decisions. You can stick to new habits without fighting with yourself all the time. You don't have to force yourself to exercise or meditate. You want to because it begins to feel good. It feels natural. And that stop start loop finally breaks because your body and your mind are not fighting you anymore. What does it feel like when your stress levels start to drop? When your nervous system begins to regulate, well, your body starts to feel different. That constant tension in your shoulders, it starts to melt. Your jaw unclenches. Your stomach settles. You can take a deep breath for the first time in what feels like forever, and that actually goes all the way in. Your heart rate slows, your blood pressure drops back into more normal ranges. You sleep deeper, not just more hours, but better quality of sleep. You wake up feeling rested. Your body feels like it's healing instead of just surviving. Your mind starts to feel different. The fog lifts. You can think clearly. You remember things. You can concentrate on one task without your mind jumping to 10 other things. The loop of anxious thoughts slows down, and you notice that there's a space between your thoughts, and you can observe the thoughts without getting pulled into them. You feel present in a way that you haven't felt in years. Your emotions start to feel different. That constant low irritability, that starts to soften. You feel more patient, more kind with yourself and with others. You feel hopeful, not in a forced, I'm fine way, but in a genuine, grounded hope. You feel like yourself again. Or maybe you feel like a version of yourself that you haven't met yet, the version that has always been there, just buried under years of stress. And your behavior starts to change without force. You don't have to make yourself exercise or meditate. You want to. It feels good. It feels natural. It feels like coming home to yourself. The stop start loop finally breaks because your body isn't fighting you anymore. Your nervous system has learned that calm is safe, stillness is safe, change is safe. When your body and mind get on board with the fact that change is safe, that is when everything shifts. Let me say this to you loud and clear. You are not broken. You're not lacking willpower. You are not failing. You have been trying to change while your nervous system has been stuck in survival mode. But you don't have to stay there. If you're ready to experience what it feels like when your stress levels start to drop, when your body and mind finally feel safe enough to let go, I have 3 ways that I can support you. You can book a virtual Reiki session with me, a one-off 75-minute session to experience deep restorative rest from wherever you are. It is perfect if you just need to feel what it's like to truly relax. I have a weekly container. It's a monthly subscription. It is called the Reiki Oasis, the Inner Glow Guild. Here, I give a little lesson on beliefs and mindset shifting, and then I give Reiki to the group to help support people where they're at. It is a beautiful container of wonderful souls who are all looking to elevate themselves. You know, there's power in a group moving and growing together. And I would love to have you there. My last offering is my I Am an Empowered Patient program. This is a one-to-one coaching container for those navigating serious health or life transition challenges. This is for you if you know you need to rewire your beliefs that are keeping you maybe stuck in a particular health loop. And you also receive procedural Reiki support. It's great for anyone who has a surgical procedure upcoming, is going through any kind of treatment such as chemotherapy or radiation, anyone dealing with quote unquote chronic health conditions, maybe fertility issues, difficult pregnancies. I used to be a labor and delivery nurse, so I love to work with women and pregnancy. Thank you so much for being here. If this video resonated with you, please give it a thumbs up, like, subscribe, share. Share it with someone who needs to hear that they are not broken, that they are just stuck in a loop that can be fixed. Again, I'm Kimberly Ray, K Ray for short. Be gentle with your nervous system today. You are doing so much better than what you think you are. I will see you in the next video. Many blessings.